All right, guys. Okay, welcome, welcome back. Welcome to my series of video tutorials. My name is EVIEWS, your own guy. All right, this series takes 4 tutorial on EVIEWS. Lots of guys ask me because I'm a statistician. We play with the econometrics, the forecasting and so forth. So the guys asked me to do videos for them on EVIEWS. So we take a 4 tutorial video on EVIEWS. Don't worry. I know maybe some of you are beginners, even some of you who are mastered, or even some of you who have masters and so forth. But don't worry, we will take you through step by step. And then whatever knowledge that you feel that is relevant for your understanding, even you can skip to some of the tutorial, not a problem. But I would really like for you to start with this first one. Thank you. Okay guys, welcome to my video tutorial. Today we will be showing you how to get data into EVIEWS. But first we will show you how to set up your own work file in EVIEWS. From there we will show you how to get the data into EVIEWS. Okay, if you go to the description below, you will get the data set. The data set we'll be using for this tutorial. All through this tutorial, you will get the data set and then you will zip it. You unzip it, sorry. And then you will see you must put it on your desktop so that we can be working on it like you can see here. Now if you open this folder, you will see the different projects or the different data files and so forth. And then we will be working with project 1. If you open project 1 in your Excel file, you will see that we have the observation, and the very observation you can clearly see that they have been on a quarter basis, that is quarterly. That is even though it's a time series data, but it is being based on quarter. You have from 1951 quarter 1 all the way to 1997 quarter 4. And also we have only one sheet 1. And the various variables or the various objects that we have the GDP, the gross domestic product, that is income. Also we have the price level or the approximate rate of inflation, and also we have the short-term interest rate, and then we have the money supply as one of our variables. So this particular data file is what we're going to get it into our EVIEWS and then start to do some of our analysis on them. Okay, now if we open EVIEW, okay, this is how it will firstly open, like we told you from previous video tutorials. Now if it opens, you can either create the new work file from here, or you close this window and then open the new work file from here. But to just keep something short, we open the new work file or we create the new work file from here. Click this, and then we'll be presented with this window. Now in this window, we will determine our work file structure type. Now this work file structure type, like we can see from our data set in Excel, our data set is dated regular frequency. That is, the frequency is being dated regularly. is like for the cross-sectional data where we have unstructured or undated, something, or the panel data where we have some balance panel and so forth. But this data is data regular frequency, and so we have the frequency. We should specify the frequency. Now we know that our data is even though it's time series, but it is based on quarter. So obviously we will choose quarterly here, and then we know that our starting date of our data, the starting date of this data is 1951, first quarter, which is quarter 1, and then it ends 1997 on the 4th quarter. Okay, and then here we decide to give the work file its name. The work file, maybe we call it project 1 EVIEWS, project 1 EVIEWS, and then the page, that is the page name of this project, we will call it page 1, project 1, page 1, project 1. Okay, afterward we click OK, and then if you we just said no because that is a lesson something, so we say no. If you will present to us 2 different objects, like we told you, as default objects for our work file that we have created. These are the 2 defaults. By default, they will always appear. We have the coefficient parameter. This is the coefficient parameter. Afterward, this coefficient parameter by default is always 0. But as we continue to do our regressions, our modeling, they will change over time. And then also the residual, they are of default right now, but as we continue to as we do our regression in a later video, they will change, the values will change. You will see what we are talking about. So we will close this window, and then we will, let's just clear the command line, because whatever we just did just now, they were recorded from the command capture. So let us just clear this command capture. We right click, we right click and then we clear. Okay, and then we minimize this window, we minimize EVIEW, and then we go for our data set. Here is our data set. Our data set is here. There's our data set. We say project 1. There's an Excel file sheet. So we will just left click. We will left click and then just hold it down to the EVIEWS icon, so that the EVIEW box will open. The window of EVIEW will open. And then we just drop it there. Just drop it anywhere here. Anywhere. Even you like, you can drop it here, anywhere. Just drop it. See? Alright. Now, we are presented with this. When we are presented with this, the first thing is we should predefine the range. We saw that from our data set, we only have one sheet, which was sheet 1. If you have several sheets on your Excel worksheet, you can precise which one of the sheet data set you have to use right now. So only sheet 1 we had on that data set. If we had several sheets, fine, but only sheet 1. So obviously only sheet 1. And then obviously we can see that that's the same kind of form our data set they were in. So obviously we click next. But if our data set was being transposed, then we will see it in another data set transposed. Then we could click read series by row or transpose in count data. Then we could check this. but it is not transposed. It's obviously our data that we needed. That's it here. So obviously we click next, and then we are presented with this window. It says the column header line. The line number 1 is the column header. You see, that is our line number 1. You see, and then the column tab, the names only. If you have, if for instance, if your column header is not a name, for instance, like you will see in other text file, sometimes the first something can just be a number, just or let's say or value set. But this one, we have our variables at the column header, so obviously we say names only. If they were like description only, fine, but that was only name, so we click name only. And then name, for this particular set here, we have the name as observation. That was our observation, that is a variable. And then we can decide to even destruct that particular variable. And the data tab, we can also precise the data set. But if you have already precised the data set by saying that is a date, and then like you can see the GDP EVIEWS precised that as numerical value, and it's clear, it's true. You see, and so therefore all of our variables are all set. So we click next, and then we are presented with this. So we should import method. Can we create new work file? We have already created a web file. We created a web file. We said it was a data specific, let's say a regular frequency, and we said it was quarterly. So this is what if you have maintained that. You see, so these are let's say our data set. So we click finish. If you ask a link imported series and alpha objects to external source, if we click yes here, it means that if we do any changes, for instance, in Excel, the change will reflect in our EVIEW. But we don't want that. To just keep things simple, we say no. Now this is our data set being displayed on EVIEW. You can see that we have the initial initial coefficient, the coefficient parameter, always 0, that I told you by default is always there. And then we have the GDP, the gross domestic product. You can see clearly that that is our data. Even if you can check out to see the Excel file, you can see that that's the same kind of data, 114.3, and that's the same 114.3. You know, we can also change this. That is not a problem. So that's it with the money supply, and obviously we have all of them, all of our variables. Now, one important thing is that the command capture all of the commands, that all of the things we did just now. Imagine that if we could just run this command and then just change the directory here. I'm talking about this directory here. If we could just change it, maybe by different person on a computer, in the same file, we could get the same data set into this by just putting import and then the directory, the file name. After the file name, you have the range, that is the sheet, and then the rest remain like that, and obviously we will get the same data. So that's just an important aspect of the command capture. This command capture is helpful in a sense that if you're working with a large, let's say a data set that is large and that is very, very heavy and thing, where you did some things on the interface, and then your director asks you to give the command as quickly as possible, you can just copy the command and then you put it on a wall or even a text file and then send it to your director. You can just execute this command and then everything that you did can appear to him. Alright, that was how we get the data into Excel. Remember, we called our sheet name project 1, project 1 something. So that's the same thing here. You can add multiple sheets, multiple pages, sorry, and then that's how you can something. But in the next video we will show you how to get let's say text file into EVIEWS and the rights of the other files, and then we will do the data analysis and so forth. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to meet you today. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will continue the series. Always don't forget the data set is in the description below. Download it, and then let's continue this series of tutorial on EVIEW. Thank you.